Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my tutorial for the extremely unpredictable yet incredibly satisfying process that is sandcasting. This is a foolproof sandcasting tutorial for complete beginners. We will now begin. Here is a photographic image of all the tools that you will need to complete this project. If you have the capacity in your brain to take a mental photograph to refer to later, please do so now. If you are like the rest of us, then please scroll down to the top pinned comment below this video and you will find a list detailing all the tools you will need. You're welcome. Now the first thing I want you to do is get your canister and distinguish between the inner and the outer sides. Please see the image that I have now inserted for clarity. Please set the outer side to the side and fill the inner with Delft clay. Begin to pile up your Delft clay into a little mound above the top line of the canister and then whacker it with your hammer to level it out. When letting go of your formidable rage, remember to start at the edge and work your way into the middle. For this next step, you will need an object with a flat edge. I use a steel rule, but you could get creative and find an appropriately shaped object within your home. Using your object like a knife cutting a bagel, please level off the Delft clay. Next, get your talc or baby powder and dust the top of the Delft clay using a paintbrush. I like to also dust the wax piece to help prevent the sand from sticking to it and hopefully make it easier to remove from the clay afterwards. There is a delicate balance of dusting to achieve here. Too much dust can leave lumps or bumps of talc left over that may make marks in your piece, and too little dust can cause the two sides of the canister to stick together. Now, place your wedding ring in the middle of the canister. The hole in the side of the canister is where the sprue will be located, so please orientate your design or centerpiece of your ring away from the hole. Then press down on your piece of wax until it is sitting halfway down in the Delft clay. If the piece you're trying to cast is quite chunky, you might want to grab a book or a hammering block and use that to assist you in applying the pressure. Please make sure that your wax piece is about halfway down in the clay, just like this. Now I need you to line up the outer side of the canister with the inner and push them tight together. Add more Delft clay on top of your wax piece, let out some more rage by hammering it down, and then slice the sand neatly like a bagel off the top. This next part is the most technically challenging part of the whole of sandcasting, opening up the canister. If you twist the two halves, you will ruin the beautiful cavity you are making inside. Instead, you will need to adopt a little wiggle, so please wiggle the halves and then pull them clean apart in the opposite directions to reveal your beautiful cavity. I bet your dentist has never said that one to you before. Carefully pick up your scalpel and insert the blade very slightly into the wax ring and begin to tease it out of the Delft clay. Take the blade out and repeat from the opposite side until you never eat shredded wheat, or for my American friends, that would be the north, south, east and west. Just before we add the air holes, add the funnel shape where your sprue will form. This funnel is not like a traditional funnel, it only contains the top half of the funnel. We don't want that skinny little bit that guides the liquid usually into another container. We just want that top half of the funnel, and you can use the edges of the canister to guide your scalpel. If you have a round ring, I would recommend adding 4 to 6 air holes. First of all, get your scalpel and cut 4 to 6 equidistant lines in the sand around your ring. Each of these lines must cut through the side of the cavity, so when the canister is closed, the air can still get out. Using a drill bit, push the drill bit into the Delft clay and all the way through until it reaches the desktop that you are working on. Then lift up your canister, push the drill bit the rest of the way through, and you will see a little bit of clay falls out, so we wipe it away before we put the canister back down. This will prevent your air holes that you've just made from clogging up. Repeat this for all of the air shafts that you have created, and finally go back in with the scalpel and open up all of the air shafts to give yourself the maximum chance of a successful sandcast. Carefully fit the two halves of the canister back together and then get ready for some fire. The gas we are using is called MAP gas. Please ensure that your room is well ventilated and you can open a window for the duration of your sandcasting. It will take a hot second for your metal to heat up, but MAP gas burns brighter and hotter than butane and will allow you to melt up to 20 grams of silver quite successfully. When you're getting ready to pour your silver, you want to make sure that your silver has become a little puddle of molten metal. You should be able to see your reflection in it and your torch's reflection. Once you can see that, I always count down from 30 seconds down to 1 second to ensure that the metal is definitely hot enough to flow all the way through the cavity. Then get yourself in a square pose, stand strong, count 3, 2, 1 and throw. Dollop, drop, quickly move your silver into that sandcast. You can also see the air holes in action here. If you see smoke coming out of them, it's generally a good sign. If you don't see smoke, it's probably a bad sign. However, it can be a mischievous process and indicate the wrong things for you at all times. Let us now reveal the casting. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I hope you enjoyed your coffee break. I'm enjoying mine. Whilst you were relaxing, I was working really, really hard and I made the second wedding ring. And it came out fantastic for learning purposes because both of the rings are very, very different, and it will just give you an insight into how temperamental that process is, how unpredictable it is. Amazingly, both of these worked out first time, but that's mostly because I've got a few tips and tricks up my sleeve to get myself the greatest success rate. Let me just show you what. So you can see one has come out super disheveled. There's a lot of cleaning up to do on that one, but this one is pretty perfect, to be fair. I think getting the sprue off of this one, the band might be a little bit thin at the back. Can't see that properly, but. And if you're wondering why these currently look gold, this gold colour will completely disappear when I start filing. It's just oxidation from the heat of the casting process, which turns the silver this gold. You wouldn't believe the amount of times I get messages from people asking if they can keep that colour on their rings.
Hi, it is Editing Annie here now. Just to thank you so much for watching Sandcasting Part 1. I hope you have learned something new, and are you going to give it a crack? I can't wait to see what you make, and I'm just here to let you know that Part 2 will include all of the steps that you have to go from that very rugged sandcast to get a beautiful piece of shiny silver jewellery or gold. You can use this process with gold too. But until next time, lots of love. Bye.